What's up? It's Christine with Irene Iron Fitness. If you're craving takeout food, stop. Don't get it. Make this beef and broccoli instead. Let's get cooking. So this recipe is great because it's very few fresh ingredients. You have your steak and your broccoli. You also have garlic and onion, which you could use dry if you only have dry. And after that, it's all from your pantry. So it's very easy and convenient to whip this up. We're gonna start first by making our marinade. We're gonna slice our steak up and mix it together so that it can hang out and marinate for as long as possible while we do the other prep work. It's not gonna be long because we don't have a lot of prep work, but every minute counts, so we're gonna start with that right away. So here's what's going into the marinade. Liquid aminos, which is a good soy sauce alternative. We have rice wine vinegar. Make sure you get the unseasoned kind. Don't get the seasoned kind. Sesame oil. We're just going to use a touch of this, not much at all. Fish sauce. Gives it a nice depth of flavor. And crushed red pepper for your spice. Ground ginger for a little bit of heat. We're not going to put any salt or pepper in this marinade because the liquid aminos is salty on its own. So we are going to add in a little bit of water too. So we're going to mix this up, cut up the steak, and get it all swimming together. So we have our flank steak. This is a package that I had a large, like 2-pound thing of flank steak that I used part of it for. This is the remaining part. And when I got it, it was twice the size, and it was this way. So I sliced it down vertically in half. And you want to do that because the grains are going vertical. So when you're slicing it, you want to go against the grain. So when you slice it vertically, it just helps you position yourself to best slice it for when you're actually using it. Now, this we're going to cut into strips, and I'm actually going to cut it again vertically and then go into strips this way, because if your strips are too large, then it's going to make it difficult for serving, especially if you have a family of 4 or something that you're trying to serve it more than just 2 guests. When you're grabbing large chunks of steak, it doesn't spread out very far, so it helps make your steak a little bit more bang for your buck if you slice it into smaller pieces so that it's more of a satisfying pan to share. So let's get slicing this. You don't want to make them too small because then they will dry out when you cook it. So I like a nice 1/2-inch thickness. And you can put it straight into your bowl. So our meat is marinating. We have it sitting here. We're going to give that a little stir every now and then if you have a free moment. And we're going to dice up a shallot. We're going to chop up some garlic and broccoli. This is pretty well prepared. It's already washed, but I am going to cut these down a little bit more in size so that each broccoli floret is nice and bite-sized. And I have bone broth that I'm using. So I'm going to mix this up with some hot water. I've talked about this bone broth before. I really like it in the stick because I can just use any amount that I need and not have to put something in the fridge. Like if you open a can of chicken stock or a big box of chicken stock and you use a little 1/4 cup, then you have that big thing sitting in your fridge. So these are great because I can use just a little bit at a time, and then I can still just put it in my dry goods. It doesn't take up any refrigerator space. So we're going to mix some of that up, and that's it. So we'll get chopping. That's really good shallot. Has me crying. Oh. How easy was that? Broccoli, beef, shallot, garlic, chicken broth. Let's get cooking. We're gonna start with the beef. We're gonna sear that up first in just a tad of oil. We're gonna reserve that to the side. And then we're gonna use the same pan, put in a touch more oil, cook the shallots, and then add the garlic in, and then add the broccoli in. And then we're going to use that chicken broth to deglaze everything that's in that pan from cooking that steak, so you can get all that flavor into your broccoli. Now, I also like to add in a little extra red pepper flakes at this point when I'm cooking. If you don't like spicy, then leave this out. You can just have the touch that's in your marinade, or you can leave it out altogether. So let's get rolling. All right, so I use avocado oil a lot in my cooking because it has a higher smoke point than olive oil. I love olive oil, but once you raise it to a certain degree and it starts smoking, then you lose all the nutrients in the olive oil. So I use the avocado oil, especially in cases like this where you're using a really high heat and you're doing searing. I love the avocado oil, and it's super like mild flavor. You can't taste an avocado or anything. Don't get weirded out by it. Just try it. You'll like it. So our pan is hot. We're going to add in the steak, and we have a little bit of marinade that's settling at the base of the bowl. So try to leave that in the bowl and just break the steak out itself, because we're gonna save that for our next step. But you want your steak to be as dry as possible to get a good sear on it. The steak is done. We're going to transfer it into here, clear out room in that pan, and then we're going to get our shallots in, our garlic in, our broccoli in. That broccoli and shallots, it's only going to take a few minutes. Once that's cooked to your desired crispness, then we're going to throw the beef back in and ready to serve. So now we're going to add the marinade back in. This has tons of good flavor, and we're going to boil off all that residual from the steak that's in there. I like to add that in before the broccoli. Look at how good this looks, and it smells like shallots and garlic and peppers. It smells so good in here. We have enough boilage. I'm going to throw the broccoli in, and Mix it around. And then this chicken broth is also going to help steam that broccoli. And it's just going to take a few minutes. We like our broccoli crisp. If you like yours mushier, you can keep it in longer. I know a lot of people like their broccoli mushy. I'm not one of those people. Make it how you like it.
Those people.
Okay, our broccoli is done. So now you take your beef, throw it back in, give it a good mix. Turn your heat down. It looks delicious. It smells incredible. I would serve this with jasmine rice. It only takes 15-20 minutes on the side. Sesame seeds. I'd love to garnish my Asian food with sesame seeds. So there you have it. It's that easy. You just saved yourself a trip to the Chinese takeout, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Give me a like, hit that subscribe. Check out my full printable recipe at my blog, ireneironfitness.com, and meet me here every Wednesday for a new fresh recipe.